Hey, good morning. Welcome to Sports Talk, Friday, November 15th. I'm your host, Chris Rayner, with a plethora of co-hosts today. Do you know what a plethora is, Ashley?
A lot of something.
A lot of something. Yeah, that's what we got, a lot of something. Ashley Moseley, honored co-host, esteemed owner of the station, just an all-around great guy.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy.
Of course, Jerry Allen, voice of the Jacksonville Cardinals, co-hosting today. Welcome, Jerry.
Pillar of the community.
Pillar of the community. Another pillar of the community, Bob Warlick, who's been fighting with a cough, haven't you?
Yeah, a little cough, but it's getting better.
Now, you're the play-by-play color analyst official of the Cardinals.
Color, if you use it loosely, yeah. It's more black and white, but it's color.
No, it's vivid the way you guys describe it. I've heard the games. It's awesome.
Well, good, man. Thank you.
And got that to look forward to tonight, man. Cardinals, the only county team still playing, right?
Right.
I do have well, we'll do the sponsors after this, but I want you to marinate on this and think about it. What is the only Onslow County team that's guaranteed of having a win in their last game? Football team. Think about that. Our sponsors are National Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, the losses of John Drew Warlick, CNS Paint, Ron Choate and Victor Case, Onslow County Motor Company, Fountain Management, Miss Sandra Fountain, Wheels Mart, Chappie's Chicken, great gas and oil, a wonderful place. Pillar of the community owns it. Bartley Insurance Services, Bill Mercer, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, Rock Creek Golf and Country Club, Golden Corral, Lane and Associates Family Dentistry, Doctors Tommy and Kim Morgan, Jones Onslow EMC, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative, a pillar of the community. Our buddy works over there. Steve Goodson runs the show. Southern Touch Painting, Barnes Diamond Gallery, and Bayshore Animal Hospital with their new location now open at 623 East Sampson Drive in Swansboro. And of course, we're on the pillar thing at the start with, but the loss of John Drew Warlick has a pillar of the community as one of their.
You're all about the pillars.
All the pillars here today.
I got to add something right here.
Add something, baby.
Chris Hollywood man's been up since about 4 o'clock this morning.
Yep.
He's doing the sports talk.
Got a long day.
He's going to Burlington tonight with us to broadcast the football game. Everything's depending on him hooking everything up. And then he's coming back tomorrow morning with you to do the Christmas parade.
That's right.
So a lot of gratitude and thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you, Hollywood.
Honored to be part of it, man. I love it. I love it.
Wonderful, wonderful pillar of the radio world.
And Jerry and Bob had to readjust their schedules. I know these are busy guys, and appreciate y'all being there, buddy. Looking forward to it.
Well,
Can't wait.
Helen's Kitchen and Billy Griss's brought us some Billy Bowls today for our breakfast.
Oh, Lord.
Thank you for that. And while we're on food, if you guys are looking for recommendations, you know I'm the guy. Headed towards Burlington, there's Zach's Hot Dogs, world famous hot dogs in Burlington. Or depending on how y'all meet up and go, of course there's McCall's there in Goldsboro.
Yeah.
It's on the way. Great buffet. Some good stuff there. All kinds of eateries in Raleigh you can pick from. Hurricane Report, or Hurricane Watch, is powered by Downey's Heating and Air Conditioning. Jason Humphrey in the game. Hurricane's been on a tear, baby. We got to go to a game. We say that every time, don't we?
Yeah,
we got to go to a game. We'll make that
I'm
happen.
just waiting on the time, buddy.
All right. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch the shows and previous shows at YouTube at WSME Radio. Catch the show on Facebook page at WSME, Freedom 97.1 WSME. Make sure you wave to all the people out there in video land. Let them see you right up front there, Jerry.
What do you got right here?
That's a bobblehead. You never seen a bobblehead?
It's Fred Flintstone over there.
Sometimes when Ashley gets mad at me, he's a bobblehead. He'll sit there and shake that head at me. You can also find your favorite on-demand sports talk podcasts and stream the station live at our website, WSME971.com. Let's jump right in. Have y'all figured out who I was talking about?
Middle school.
No, the only varsity football team.
Change your question.
I'm clarifying. The only varsity team in Onslow County that is guaranteed of having their last game be a win this year.
Jacksonville.
They could lose.
Well,
I think they'll win out, but
I don't know.
it's Northside. Remember they played Martin County
that's
and
right,
that throwaway. That would have been a good trivia question.
But you said
That was a real good one.
guaranteed.
Their last game was a guaranteed win. They
Past
won.
tense. It's guaranteed.
Well,
They won.
He didn't put in this year. To
I said
start
guaranteed win.
it wasn't a guaranteed win. They had to play the
But
game.
they won.
As
They're
long as it's
guaranteed
score.
of having the last game of their season
What
be
was
a
the
win.
score?
I don't know. They won by like
Oh, they
24.
crushed them.
47, something
They
like
crushed
that.
them.
Yeah.
But then Martin County crushed somebody in the first round of playoffs.
Correct.
So
That's the whole 1A,
hey,
3A thing.
maybe that was a good move by Coach Pollitt to get that
For
team a little
sure.
confidence for next year.
For
I heard
sure.
they played a lot of younger players. Maybe that's the wave of the future. Clean out the deadwood. All right, what do we want to talk about today? Maybe high school football?
Yeah, a
you
little
think?
high school football.
Do you want to start with the standings? It's warm in here, Hollywood. Are y'all warm or is it just me?
Just you.
Okay, this is just me. I'm a fat boy. See if you can tell what order I'm going in. Chris Rayner, last. And I've actually got him over here where I've got him in order so I don't have to hem and haw. Actually, you did pretty good this week. You moved up a couple slots. And Bob, you did really good. Moved up 2 places to first place. I kind of gave that away a little early, didn't I?
It's hard to gain on the leaders, though, because we're all picking the same teams.
Very similar,
yeah. Exactly.
Well, not always. All right, let's see here. I've got a standing somewhere. Here we go. Last place, 66 and 22. Yours truly. I took a couple of losses for the Stallions.
You
I
picked
won't
Southwest
pick
this week?
them. No. They haven't lost. The Stallions have not lost a game since November 1st.
Oh, really? How about
Yeah.
that? So,
How about that? And while we're on that topic, I'll go on little tangents here. My football teams are doing very well. The Carolina Tar Heels have not lost since
Oh man.
October 12th.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah,
They had a
that's
couple of open dates.
Right.
But and they haven't played Alabama and Georgia, but wins are wins.
Well, hey, wins are wins
Looking
with that
better.
program right now.
And of course, that means your buddy Mac Brown will be back next year.
Well, see what he does.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
The Carolina Panthers have not lost since October 27th. There's one open date this past week and 2 really bad teams, New Orleans and the Giants. But they're wins.
Man, I tell you, they're playing their young guys, and I see a little bit of hope
Yeah.
for the future. I really do. For the first time in about 3 years.
All right, do you not love Chuba Hubbard?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, a guy that nobody wanted, and the Panthers tried to replace him like 5 times, and he just keeps coming back and running the ball. I think he's like 3rd in the NFL in rushing or something, or 4th, somewhere along in there.
how about my Carolina? East Carolina. 4
East
in a row.
Carolina, 4 in a row.
That's unbelievable. That guy's made it hard, hadn't it, on the AD of picking a new coach. He's got
He
given
may
him
be
something-
making it easy for him.
Right. Well, he's giving him something to think about. Those kids are playing hard for him.
I think they got Navy this weekend, and they should win that ball game.
And we talked about Carolina, and I love Mac Brown. I love what he's done there and over the years and his reputation. But sometimes it's just time to change head coaches, isn't it?
Well, I think at his age, everybody's asking that question with recruiting, how long are you going to be there? And when you get to that point, you kind of reach your peak. Yeah. I think he's done what he was brought in to do, which is shore up the program. And me personally, I'd like to see somebody new come in, but that's he's earned that right to some extent.
And there's still, he can still shake things up with different assistants, like putting somebody in charge of the offense.
Rainer, I'll be honest, he's done that all he can do that. He's redone his staff about every year.
Bringing old golf buddies back,
Yeah, that's where his failure's been in the second round. Is his staff selection's been pretty poor.
Chisdick and some of the ones that are a little past the
right. Well, you remember his first defensive coordinator was Greg Robinson.
Yeah,
right, and then everybody went so crazy he reneged on that, and then it's just been downhill really from there.
Now, who's the guy from Carolina that's going to UNC Charlotte? Is it Withers? There was somebody that was just named new head coach of UNC Charlotte.
Tim Brewster.
Brewster, that's it. Yeah,
he was on staff at Charlotte and used to be on staff at Carolina.
So now he's going to be the head coach.
He's going to be the interim head coach.
And a lot of times it's just that if the program gets spinning the wheels, sometimes it just have to change. Directions. Look what's happening at East Carolina.
How did we get from this to that?
It's all football.
Okay.
Football's football.
Right.
Now you're a big East Carolina guy, right? I thought you were. Who's the big East Carolina? You are.
Yeah.
Look at the change they made just by changing that guy. Was it 4 in a row now they won or 3?
4.
Yeah, I mean just the changing culture. Sometimes you got to shake it up.
Right.
And that's what they've done. Anyway, the other one, of course, the Stallions have not lost since November 1st. So since November 1st, my football teams are undefeated. Now, granted, they haven't played,
Right.
But that's a grain of salt. And the Panthers have played a couple of bad teams. But did you go to the Heels weight game?
The answer to that is no. I have not been to a game this year.
Come on.
No.
Wait a minute, let me check through my things.
And you got all them nice tickets and all that kind of stuff up there.
I just
not into it.
I just don't have the energy for it right now. I'm sorry.
He's all into this.
And judging,
I'm a Cardinal guy right now.
I've been to 3 or 4 games this year, and judging by a lot of the blue I see that are not shirts, they're seats. A lot of people have been doing the same thing.
Yeah,
So,
I'm a
if
poor
you're-
fan, but I just don't have the
you're
interest
not.
in it.
But if you're out there in Carolina fan land and you're not going to use your tickets to the NC State game, 910-389-6146. I know a guy that'll take them. And
Jared's a state guy.
No.
Oh. Well, what are you?
What are you?
Dude.
Oh, sweet baby Ray. Let's get back to high school football.
There you go.
Start talking about greatness. We want to change.
What are you looking for tonight, Jared?
Greatness.
What are we looking for in the Cardinals tonight, buddy?
Well, Burlington Williams has got that quarterback in Bob had brought this to my attention. He's 6'1", about 175, 180. He's got about 1,300 yards passing and about 700 yards rushing. I don't think he's a run-first guy. I think he's a pass-first guy, but if he doesn't got nothing, he'll take whatever lane you give him. So we got to be cautious with that.
I think Jacksonville has seen as good a quarterbacks in the state, in the eastern part of the state, that they played this year. That guy from Havelock, that quarterback from New Bern, West Carteret, they have faced some good quarterbacks.
So the guy from Havelock from Newport?
Yeah, the Newport Rams.
Newport Rams.
But
That's right.
he's sort of a pocket guy, pass-first guy, and the guy at New Bern I felt was more of a running guy.
Right.
This guy at Burlington he does both really,
He's a
really
dual
well.
threat.
Well,
Yeah,
I think,
he's really
he
good.
Is, my only question about the Cardinals is I hope they haven't peaked too soon.
I don't think so. I think they're rolling.
I mean, they running
We'll
all
go back to
over.
the quarterback that y'all talking about. He's 2,100 yards passing. He passes for 200 yards a game. He's thrown 32 TD passes. He's had 9 interceptions.
Does it have his rushing stats there?
Yeah, he's rushed.
I guess he's probably around 1,000.
759.
759.
Yeah.
But definitely a threat to take. And
He's
a lot
only
of
ran it-
times,
he's only ran it 76 times.
well, a lot of times smart coaches, though, end of the year, that's when them quarterbacks start taking off more.
He just looking, Chris, I don't think he's a guy who really wants to get hit a whole lot, but he's elusive. You could look at him and tell he's a good basketball player,
Yeah,
good
athlete.
baseball player, but I don't
he's
think
a
he's going,
scrambler, a threat
he's a
to take off
scrambler,
and
but
down.
he's not looking to mix it up across the middle, but he's fast, man. He's shifty. He reminds me a lot of the Triton quarterback a couple of years ago.
Okay. Okay.
Which was dangerous and knocked us out. So that tells you how good there that I think he
Well, I
is.
think we got as good a defensive football coach in the state of North Carolina. I think he'd be ready for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're about 200 yards passing, 200 yards rushing, which
game.
is pretty.
That's pretty
good.
balanced, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're 300 and 100, 380.
That's not bad either. That's very,
300
good
rushing
balance.
and 80
Yeah.
passing.
80 passing. Okay.
Yeah.
A little less balanced, but obviously more Demond June.
Yeah, more June and just different style football. They're in the pistol with 4 wide receivers, and we're ready to run it down your throat, and it's going to be a battle of styles. Whereas last year, you remember both teams wanted to run the ball and be powerful and physical with Southern elements, but this is a totally different animal here. This is a pass-first team primarily.
I feel if we can score like we've been able to, I think we have the ability to continue to score touchdowns one way or the other. Where we're going to win games from here on out is that Bo will find a way to
Right.
stop them. Same thing at D.H. Conley. We were back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Bo found a way to stop them. They didn't score twice. We scored twice, and they couldn't catch up.
Don't you love that famous quote that a lot of coaches will say without even thinking about it, saying, to win this game, we're going to have to outscore them.
Right.
Obviously, the scoreboard, but what they're talking about is they're going to have to put some points on the board.
Right.
It's not going to be able to be a 7-3 game. This game, there's no way it'll be 7-3.
No way.
Or 10-7 or something like that.
Well,
There's no point.
the defensive backfield for Jacksonville this year is the best I've seen since we've been covering the football game 14 years.
I
The
agree with
defensive
that.
backs
Ash.
really
I
are.
agree.
a
And
little
last-
more moxie there.
And last week, they done what we've been begging them to do. We're pressing the receivers. When that happened last week, I had to put a seatbelt on Bob. He got excited, right out of the seat, because we were actually man-to-man, in your face
Oh, it was beautiful.
defense. And we have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
Their receivers aren't very, very big. There's a 5'11" guy, 6-foot guy, 6-foot guy, and a
How do you
5'11"
read
guy.
that?
So
No.
our guys are bigger than them.
Yeah.
Well,
Really?
that may give a little edge to them speed-wise, and
Yeah, they're they're like the McCaffrey guy. I mean, they've got 4 guys across like that. They run very precise routes. I've looked at them a little bit this week. They run really precise routes. They're fast. They're not faster than our guys, no question, but they run really good disciplined routes, and they find the holes in your defense, and the quarterback can get it there. So it'll be a test. Jacksonville's got to get off the field on defense a couple of times a half, because I think they're going to have a hard time stopping us, is my thought. I think Onslow County plays physical football. Alamance County is great. We have to
Right.
go through them every year.
Yep. We
But
sure
they're
do.
more, with the exception of Southern Alamance, they're more spread pass type teams, and a lot of times that doesn't lend itself too well to stopping a physical running team.
And that was the question that popped in my mind. Those teams play each other like that. They're used to playing other teams to spread, defend the spread, and then all of a sudden a power team comes in. Is that going to benefit Jacksonville, you think?
Well, there's no question they're going to have to change. I think, Chris, what they do, they run a 4-3 on defense with 2 high safeties, and they're not going to be able to stop the run game. I don't think doing that. They may start out doing that. I don't know, but I
You
mean,
think they'll switch to maybe a 5-3
I think
or something?
I think they're going to have to bring somebody down in the box and play one safety, and I think hopefully Eccles can sort of turn it on at that point.
Well, you know, last year against Southeast Alabama, they threw the ball only one time.
Totally different animal, man.
Right.
That's a team that just wants.
Grinded.
They want a 15-play drive. They want to take up the whole quarter. They want to go foot to foot and get 4 yards a carry, and that's what they did. They kept our offense off the field. And this is we'll get plenty of possessions on offense tonight, but we've got to get some stops.
Could you imagine a team like that playing either New Bern or an old Phil Paget team? There'd be like no passes in the entire game. The game would be over in an hour.
Think about the pressure it puts on you. I mean, when you have the ball offensively, you have to perform because you're only going to get it a couple times a half.
That's true.
That's effective football. It's not very entertaining necessarily for the modern spread era, but it's very effective for high school.
And I've heard people say that, like from a fan's perspective. Like I've heard people say that Virginia basketball was boring to them because of the defense stuff. It ain't boring when you win that title.
Well, that's
no
what's
matter how
happening.
you win it, you know.
And Bob, to go back to the game I think the Galarraga and the other receivers are going to have a big play or two tonight to keep us going.
And they're getting better.
Yeah, they're
We're-
getting better.
and
I'm just
we're-
saying that
yeah.
that's where we're going to be better than we were last week, was when the Galarraga and the other receiver starts to catch a pass
15,
or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the sophomore 15 is escaping me. He's come on with the fade, and Eccles is Eccles. He's a known product.
Because they've looked at us all year long, as many games as they want to look at us, and they know here comes 9, here comes 7, here comes 16, here comes 14. We need the 10 and 15 and the 4 to step up. Because they're not really playing them.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do defensively because they've watched film all week. They know that Jackson's going to try to run and pound the ball, and their defense is more set up naturally to what they've seen all year. So it'll be interesting if they bring down a 5th defensive lineman, extra linebacker. It'll be
put
interesting.
a man-to-man on Eccles, play 2 zones against the other 2, and just put it like you said, 8 in the box.
They played zone all year, a cover 2 zone. So I don't know that they've got the guys to play man-to-man. I know Coach Williams doesn't feel real comfortable for us playing man-to-man. We've got some pretty good athletes.
Oh, yeah.
We just got the red light, which means it's time to take a quick break. Thanks to our sponsors and give them a little love on the commercials. We'll be right back on Sports Talk. Hey, welcome back to Sports Talk. I'm your host, Chris Rayner, co-host Ashley Mosley, co-host Jerry Allen, co-host Bob Warlick, the most co-hosts we've ever had at one time. We've set a record. Now, we just set a record last week with Daryl Schwartz for the longest show in the history of the series. So we may do it again today because we can talk football all day long. Can't we?
Was it Daryl Schwartz that said this? Okay.
Oh, Daryl, yeah. He's a good dude to talk to,
He's a
man.
great guy.
Speaking of great guys, Santa Claus is coming. He's a great guy. We need to have Dave Miller here in Santa outfit maybe right before Christmas. How about that?
Yeah.
You know, I get an exclusive interview with Santa Claus.
That would be.
Well, it wouldn't be Dave Miller.
Ray
It'd be
Durham
Santa
said
Claus.
he'd come back on too. We need to give him a shout out during the game tonight. You know, I know he'll be listening.
Yes, he will.
He's not going to go, you think?
No.
I doubt it.
Long trip, yeah. But speaking of Santa Claus, WSME Freedom 97.1 and FM and 11:20 a.m. welcomes the 70th annual Christmas Parade. I'm so glad they called it in the Christmas Parade. It's the Grooving Through the Holidays Jacksonville Christmas Parade. Remember years it was called the Holiday Parade. Right. Everybody knew it was a Christmas parade.
Oh, them days are gone, man. This woke stuff's over
just
with.
call
I
it what
mean,
it
you know.
is. It's Christmas Parade. That's why people are celebrating.
And thank you, Billy Sewell, for helping sponsor that thing, buddy. We
Radio Sport,
appreciate
Golden Corral,
right.
North Marine Boulevard in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. That'd be a good time to go after the parade. Go
Right.
hit that Golden Corral buffet, or hit it. Well, yeah, I could get there before and after. Double dip it. You think they let me use the same same ticket?
No, sir.
You can catch the parade on Western Boulevard. Get there early and watch the parade from Coastal Carolina Community College all the way down to Bryn Mawr Shopping Center. And we'll have complete parade coverage. You got Porky Pig as one of your announcers. We'll start at 10 a.m. with Sports Talk's Chris Rayner. That's me. The afternoon guy, Chris Hollywood Man.
That's me.
That's him. Nobody ever gets to see Hollywood much on the camera. We got to get him in front one day. Let him do this, and I'll do that one day.
Well, we've talked
For
about
sports
that.
talk.
We have
Yeah,
to
I
teach
gotta
you how to
learn how
run
to do
this in
that
case I'm
stuff.
not here, you know?
That's true.
You ain't learned how to do that yet.
A little bit. He's been working with me.
And Bob knows how to run the board at the football games.
Oh,
He's my helper.
Pretty
yeah.
good.
That's good. In between eating Chappie Chicken.
Yeah.
We'll have a merry band of holiday helpers. Kevin Brown may be there stopping by.
You got John Michael Moore.
is gonna
John
help
Michael Moore
us.
may
John
come by.
Michael Moore. We got a bunch of folks helping out with the parade.
Jerry, is there a Chappie Chicken in Burlington?
No.
Okay.
You wanna
There's
open
one
a
in Tennessee, though.
franchise?
Tennessee.
So parade starts actually at 10, right? The
Yeah,
coverage.
I think they step off at 9:45, and by the time they get to us, it'll be at 10 or so. So you got 9:45, but get there. Roads close at 9 a.m. So you got to get there early. You want to get a good spot.
And we'll be right in front of Jones Onzo EMC with our setup. So if you want to stop by and say howdy, come on, bring some chicken biscuits. Or whatever you wanna
Chris and Santa's helpers will be there.
That's right, baby.
bring. Chris and Santa's helpers. I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get Dave to be Santa and sit there with us or something. So anyway, come out for the Christmas parade. If not, listen to the scintillating descriptions that we will have on the radio.
Hey, we call it theater of the mind.
They do.
Yeah.
I can't really talk about the one float that they will not have back at the parade. They had a little bit of a risque float one year that won't make it back again.
You think J.H. Rose got a chance
See, that's why he's
against
the best in the business.
Southern Ash?
I think everybody's got a chance
I think.
this week.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it'll be tough. I think they're the underdog, but it's all about the regular season. Ash and coming out of that conference, they won 2 games, and then they went up and went on the road and
Beat Northern Nash.
Beat Northern Nash,
Right.
right? So certainly they have a chance.
okay.
At some point, that shine's going to wear off, you know. But I'll never forget 4 years ago, everybody was fighting tooth and nail Jacksonville being in this gauntlet conference.
And look what it's done for them.
It's the very best thing that
Iron
ever
on
happened.
iron,
It's the
made
very best
them
thing.
sharper. Yeah, they really did. They rose to the occasion, no question about it.
Yeah, and I hope something similar comes about in the new realignment, because you don't want to go back down to where you're not making yourself better and getting ready for the playoffs. I've realized that. You can lose a
Right.
few games, but right now is when you need to peak.
Well, we talked about this yesterday. This is a special opportunity for a lot of people. I mean, these opportunities don't come along. You know, we've been to one state championship game one time in 14 years, something like that. So I want to embrace it. I really do have a big
And
time.
get
with
back
it.
there.
And-
We'd enjoy
Oh,
that.
yeah.
You go back to J.H. Rose, they're kind of unique offensively, and I think J.H. Rose and Havelock are kind of the same offense. I call it helter-skelter.
Yeah.
They got a plan to run a play. It breaks down. The quarterback runs around, and he throws that 70-yard touchdown pass. I mean, it's just it's hard to defend that. They
It
can
is.
extend a play so long that the result of that play is always going to be a positive for them normally.
Yeah.
We used to have a
New-
name for that game on the playgrounds. Remember, you call it? You threw it up and one kid catch it and run till the other
do.
one's tackled him.
I do remember it.
What was the name of it? What
We
y'all
can't
call
say
it?
Can't say it on the air.
And I think
It's
tonight's
not
game with
politically
the
correct anymore,
Jacksonville
apparently.
Williams and Burlington Williams game, Bob and Ash, the kicking game is going to be what I think decides the ball game.
Well,
You know, because you're going to have to punt. I see some punting going on, and something's going to happen where somebody's going to drop a punt,
Oh,
or
yeah.
somebody's going to return a punt,
right.
you know, for a long gain, and then you're going to be 3 plays touchdown, and then I just think the kicking game's going to be a factor tonight.
Now, the Glover kid graduated, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
So
in
who's the
Carolina.
kicker this year?
Hoops.
And what's his range, would you say?
You talking about kicking a field goal?
Yeah.
I think he can kick a 40-yarder.
He's left-footed, left-legged.
I think if you can spot it on the 30-yard line, let him kick it from the 30, I think he can kick it through.
I think he'd have a chance. I'll tell you where he's really good, Chris, is on kickoffs. He gets the ball as high as anybody I can recall
Gives him a
seeing.
chance to
Oh,
get
they're all over him like a pack
Does
of
he,
wolves.
can he get it to the end zone if he needed to, or
At
More line
times, he's
drive.
no. He's not line
He's
drive
not-
at all. He gets
No.
down to about the 5 yard line,
Every
and we have great field position because of him. He's been a huge asset.
Well, let me ask you guys something. You know, this is just my own opinion about these kickoffs and everything. When you kick the ball off and it's up in the air, the receiver only has to focus on one thing: the ball's in the air. You know, he can look at it
allegedly?
like. But if you squib kick it, or like a knockdown golf shot, and just trickle it down the field, that ball liable to bounce anywhere.
Right.
You know, so I think getting away from kicking it way up high and deep, unless you're going to kick it through the end zone every time, if you want to get the ball turned over, that squib kick
Well,
thing.
one
I'm
thing
not
a lot
talking
of
about
coaches-
onside, I'm talking about make that football
Well,
jump bounce.
Something
you know.
about a squib kick too, Ash, is they could get it on their 40.
Yeah,
You know, they can recover
Just
it on
fall
their
on it,
40.
yeah.
right.
What way he's doing it now is he's kicking it down to the 5-ish, and we're covering very
Right.
well, and it's real high. I don't see but 15 times this year that somebody started on the other side of the 20.
Right.
Yeah.
And you always have the chance of somebody breaking one, but you also have the chance of pinning them deep too.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
that's true.
if you want to give a kick return or something else to think about, that little pooch kick a lot of times.
That's what I'm
when he
talking
knows
about.
they're bearing, not the squib kick, but the one.
Yeah.
You know about
Lob
people are
wedge.
bearing down on him while. Man, that's tough. You're trying to catch that ball and you know you're about to get shellacked.
Right, and it bouncing on the ground here and there, getting ready to get shellacked. You
But,
got to look
yeah,
at
if
more
he's
than just
kicking it
football.
deep and they're starting inside the 20, that you can't beat that.
Well, Coach
Not
Bo,
nice.
I think, is old school. I'm going to kick it to you, and here we come.
Yep, let's
Well, I would. I mean, with this guy
that's the way
that
he
you
is.
have Glover. Yeah, you're going to kick off into the end zone every
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And then you have Hoops, who's done a great job. You don't want to deviate from what you're doing.
And we
Is he
go
a
back to
senior?
why White Oak.
He's a senior.
You know, you want to talk about kicking? Let's go to the White Oak contest last week. They don't kick field goals. I mean, extra points. I mean, if they kick extra points all night long, they win.
Yeah.
How
They
come
win
they
the
won't
ball
kick
game.
extra points?
Right.
You know what
Did
I'm
they
saying?
just not have a trusty kicker?
I don't
or-
know, but then they're going to kick a field goal
Or is he playing
to try to tie the
odds
game up.
Right. When you,
You know,
haven't
but
done
if-
it.
I
When
mean-
you haven't done it all year. That I'll be honest with you, Jerry. That game surprised me as much as anything I've seen. I've been on White Oak's bandwagon all
Me
year.
too.
So did you go to the game? No, you weren't at the game. Last year you were at the White Oak. Or the Jacksonville.
at
game.
Jacksonville.
But so it came down to a chance to win with a field goal White Oak had?
Yeah, or yeah.
Or
I mean,
tie?
I think tied to send it
tied.
to
They could
overtime.
have tied it and sent it to overtime. I mean, all year long they haven't kicked extra points. The value of 1 point nowadays in this atmosphere
Huge.
is huge.
Yeah.
Well, you brought up White Oak, and we were talking about conferences and how battle tested they are. I remember, years ago, like the East Central Conference, when you had the Final Four all from the East Central,
Yeah.
because that was such a great conference. Obviously, the Big Carolina is a great conference. Let's roll through the conferences real quick. I want to get y'all's opinion and your guesses on a couple things. First of all, we'll start at Coastal Plains. We'll start in the lower level. 5 of the 6 teams made the playoffs. It's 1A, so a lot of people make the playoffs that probably shouldn't be there. East Carteret made it, Northside, Pinetown, Lejeune, Southside, and Pamlico. What was their record of those 5 teams? Anybody?
1 and 4.
1 and 4.
2 and 3. Because
Oh, 1 to 1.
Northside won by a forfeit over East
Oh,
Columbus.
okay.
Okay.
So that was technically 1
And Pamlico won.
1 and 3. Yeah, Pamlico won. Was
Why
the other
was
one.
the forfeit?
I don't know. I have no clue. I just saw it in the thing.
I saw that too, yeah.
Yeah,
That would have to be a fine.
it had to be something.
I
East
had to find
Columbus
that team for forfeiting.
had to be an East Columbus thing with grades or something like that that they forfeited. Going to the next lowest, classification, the East Central. 5 teams made it. What was their record?
Well,
Is
who's in
Clinton
it?
in that? Is Clinton,
Clinton
in
didn't
that?
make it.
Are
They're
4
they
and
in
1.
that division? Then?
They're not in East
They're not.
Central.
Okay.
They're
Well,
in
who's some of
2A.
the teams?
They're
that's-
5
oh,
and out.
The ones that made it were James Keenan, Wallace Rose Hill,
East Duplin.
North Lenore, East Duplin,
Kinston.
and Kinston.
4 and 1.
4-1. Very good.
North Lenore on one
Only one
loss.
loss, North Lenore. Kinston was a shocker. Went down to South Columbus and took care of business. And South Columbus is South Columbus. That's always a tough place to play.
Oh man, I've been there and done that. That's no
Tough
fun.
place, yeah. So then you got the
No fun.
the Big Carolina Conference. 6 teams made it. The only team that did not make it was Northside, out of the because it's a 3A, 4A. So the 6 teams that made it, what was their record? Anybody know? Or take a
4.
shot?
They won
4 and
games.
2.
4-2. Yep, exactly. Coastal 3A. 4 teams made it. You had White Oak, Richlands,
0.
Croatan, and
West
Carteret.
West Carteret.
West
0.
Carteret. And obviously West Carteret lost to Jacksonville.
Goose egg.
1 and 3.
0-4.
0-4.
And White Oak was right there, had a chance to win. I think Richlands was like 28-14 or something, wasn't it?
24-7.
that was
24-7,
that was
something like that. But White Oak was right there with a good chance to win it. Obviously battle tested and up and coming program. But does that hurt them playing in the conference they do with some of the competition and only being a 6-team conference where they only
I
have
think
5
so.
conference games?
I think it is. I'll tell you why. I didn't think that Rocky Mount could beat Richlands. In fact, I picked
Even though it was at
Richlands.
Rocky Mountain.
Yeah, and Lee County comes down here and beat White Oak. I mean, I picked White Oak, but just like Bob said, I think that the competition in those conferences up that way or the schedules of the guys is a little bit tougher.
Oh man,
Makes them harder to beat.
they're playing Richmond, Scotland County.
Oh, yeah.
Hoke. Yeah,
Lee
it's
County, yeah.
And they come in 5 and 5 and beat what I think is a really good White Oak team.
Yeah, a very good White Oak
Right.
team.
So there's no question the conference is everything. So
And getting back to kicking, last year in the playoffs, White Oak lost in the first round to J.H. Rose.
Right.
The guy came up that short on the field goal to win the ball game for White Oak. So, it is important,
I don't know what White Oak's got coming back, but I think that guy works
Man,
them
that,
hard.
that
in the way-
Coach
you know,
Bird, big
and I
shout out
think-
to him because he's got them rolling.
I think it doesn't really matter what they have coming back. I think they're at the point where
think I do
they
too.
work hard
Right.
But it would probably, if they're not going to be in a tougher conference, to schedule a few different early games.
Yeah.
Because it's hurt them 2 years in a row now. It has, but they're on the way, man.
I looked at
And so is Bird at Richlands. He's on the way too.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah,
is,
yeah.
isn't
I looked at the box scores of the White Oak game, and the quarterback had like 284 yards rushing, and the other guy, I don't remember his name,
Maggio.
he only had like 145.
he was one of their go-tos.
And he's
yeah.
the leading rusher in the state.
Maggio.
Yeah.
That's I looked at that and I said,
Whose quarterback had 247 yards rushing?
White Oaks.
White Oak.
Well, if you remember, he hurt us real bad when
Yeah.
we played. When we
Yeah.
played over there in the rain delay, he hurt Jacksonville bad.
And they play that pistol back over there
Yeah.
too. So I mean, I guess if you're going to stop the running back, the quarterback's going to have to shine.
Right.
Well, the Hurricanes have scored their second goal of the show. When we come back, by the way, we'll have our Hurricanes watch. We'll be right back on Sports Talk. Hey, welcome back to Sports Talk. I'm your host, Chris Rayner. It is Hurricane Watch time. Our Hurricane Watch is powered by Downey's Heating and Air Conditioning. Jason Humphrey in the gang as they're switching to cold weather, get them heaters fixed. Don't have any fires. Did you guys see those gas explosions recently on the news?
No.
There was there's ring doorbells everywhere. And looking across the street and the house just boom.
Gosh.
Man, that had to be scary. So get your heaters and stuff fixed. Downey's Heating and Air Conditioning will fix it. Not gas, but they'll do the electric stuff. Get it fixed before the cold weather comes, because cold weather's here, which means hockey season's not in mid-season for me. It's still kind of early, but the Hurricanes have been rolling. You been keeping up with them, Ashley?
7-0 last couple, 7
Yep.
games.
Last loss they had was to the Utah Hockey Club. Mm-hmm. They're in that position like the Redskins were when they were trying to find a name.
Washington
Football
Football
Club for a while, or football team, yeah. So what do you think would be a good name for the Utah Hockey Club? Could they call them the Utes like the college?
The Mormons,
Yeah, but
the
it's pretty
Utah
neat.
Mormons.
What's a Ute?
It's pretty neat that it's a brand
Some
new
kind of
team
sheep.
and they're already beating the Hurricanes, though.
Well, but they're like 7-8, and it was just one of them losses where the Canes probably came in. They had played 3 games back to back, and it was kind of like jet lag, what are you going to
Gotcha.
call it? But they lost. But since then, and the Canes have been wearing out the Northeast, buddy. I love my buddies that are down here, like hockey fans from especially Pittsburgh, Jersey, all that. Giving them a hell that there's a team from Dixie up there or down here beating them, 7-0 or whatever. So Wednesday night they beat the Flyers 4-1, beat St. Louis 4-1 back on Sunday, and then last Saturday, the night right before, they beat who is that? I'm looking at the logo. Oh, that's Ottawa. The Ottawa Senators 4-0 Canadian team. So they played 4-0 game on Saturday night. Right back at home the next night, 4-1. So hockey, man, them legs, you got to have a break every now and then.
Yeah.
Now the Canes are playing this weekend. Have you been to a game yet this year? You go every
I
now and
haven't,
then.
but I do love it.
They got the Columbus Blue Jackets tomorrow night, 7:00. That's in Columbus, though. That would be a little bit of a road trip. If you're up for it, I'll go. We'll go to
Go where?
Columbus, Columbus, Ohio.
I've not even been to one yet, Raleigh.
Well,
But you keep
let's start on the
promising me
road,
and Bob
and
to
then
go.
we'll work our way back. We're going to do it.
Never been to one.
Well, we'll have to do it. We'll get it together.
will.
Matter of fact, we'll talk about it after the show.
Okay.
We'll plan a date and stick to it.
You ever been to hockey games, Jerry?
No.
As much as I love football, it's the most fun I've ever had on an in-person sporting event. Hockey, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it in person. Wow.
It's the most fun you had on an in-house,
Any
inside sporting
basketball,
event.
Carolina Duke
Anything.
basketball, anything. A playoff, especially hockey games.
It
are
is pretty
unbelievable.
much,
It's
wide open
unreal.
the whole game.
That's what Coach Durham said about him. He said he was amazed at how big and fast they are.
Big, fast, strong, man. Just elite athletes.
6'8" guy on ice skates coming at you 70 miles an hour. That's nasty. But they'll play Saturday night, and then we will try and play in the game.
Okay.
Thank you once again to Downey's Heating and Air for sponsoring the Hurricane Report. Holly, we've got a little time before we get a break. First of all, tell us about tonight's broadcast.
Yeah, you got
Give
you got
us
a couple
the
minutes.
schedule.
It's going to be cold.
Let's see. Tonight's broadcast.
Not on that radio. People can listen, baby.
That's right.
No, Bob has the weather forecast. He can tell us in a minute about tonight. All right. But let's see. Tonight, of course, it is the State 3A second round of State 3A football championship, where the Cardinals will take on the Burlington Williams Bulldogs at 6:30. The pregame with Jerry Allen, Bob Warlick, voice of the Cardinals, Jerry Allen, the color analyst, as we like to call him, Bob
Dun,
Warlick.
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and Ashley Moseley. I'll be there. It'll be a lot of fun. 7 o'clock kickoff, followed by the Golden Corral post-game report, which we hope will be a very positive one for the Cardinals and the broadcast team. And that's it, man. So you can listen. If you're not making it to the game, we expect to have a very large audience tonight listening at 97.1. And, of course, WSME971.com, where you can listen on the couch, on your phone, anywhere in the entire world. And there you go.
And we will be in the heated press box. Jerry just mentioned the fact that a couple of years ago when we played Eastern Alabama, I guess it was, we had to broadcast, do a lesson press box for whatever. We had to set up outside on the side of a hill.
On a table, a little
With
white
a table. It was about 20 degrees.
Yeah.
And Jerry walked out and told them people sitting in front of the hill, y'all gonna have to move. We need this amount of room right here.
And
You moved some season ticket holders out of the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
And we were real nice to them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they were loving it because they were winning the whole game. They
Oh,
feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
we get close.
Right.
We get,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
we bam, bam. And next thing you know, they look at us. I said, Ash, we better get out of here.
That's
quick.
right.
So it was a comeback win at the end there.
And Bob Warlick was worried about being cold, man. He said, hey, have they got a heater's press box up there? We're going to be outside, going to be inside. If need be, I can bring a space heater with me if I need to and all that.
You ought to see him in the duck blind.
I was talking to Bob earlier. He's like, man, it's gonna be cold tonight. I said, how cold is it? And he said, in the 40s. I'm like, man, you're a weenie. He's like, I've gotten
It's
older,
gonna
man.
be
I'm
cold.
like,
High. It won't get to 50.
Well, speaking of cold,
So
you're
it's gonna
right.
be in the-
It's going to be between 40 and 50.
oh yeah,
But
that's a little chilly.
the wind out of the west-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour
Oh.
with higher
It's going
wind
to be
gusts
20 to
possible.
26
Yeah.
degrees up there where
It'll be
we're going to
chilly.
be.
Well,
That wind
outside.
chill.
Let me ask you this question. Do you realize that Jacksonville all year long is averaging giving up for 17 points? Burlington Williams giving up average of 18 points.
Okay. I did not realize that.
I mean, that's and
That's a walk.
Well, we'll win by 1 point
and,
then.
and the other team, Burlington,
Yeah,
is
there you go.
averaging 43 a game. We're averaging 37 a game.
Right.
But I want you to remember when I say 37 a game, Coach Bo calls the dogs off.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's 160, 128 to nothing in the last 2 ball games.
Yeah, we're averaging 58 points a game the last 4 games.
Yeah.
And he pulls
Well,
them
that
up,
and the
you're
nature of the beast running the ball more, you're going to, chew up more time too. But you're right, because, he keeps us on the leash every year at Southwest. He kind of keeps us close to the end, So we'll come back next year for the 15th loss in a row.
Yeah.
So,
And Jerry,
Sorry,
it's
Bob,
like,
I
you
had
said,
you.
it's like you said, Jerry, last week as we were leaving the press box. Jerry said, we want to get away from here. We want to get away from here in Jacksonville because they do play good on the road,
They
buddy.
do play
They
good.
do.
play
They're
good.
road warriors.
They really
There's
are.
nothing like going on the road for a playoff game. To me. You
But
know.
I love it, man. And this is a special time. This opportunity may not come back for a long, long time. Well, I'm going to savor it, man. It's a lot of fun being with you guys and the ambiance, going to these cold places, and I love it.
And just think
Can't
about
get enough
this.
of it.
June has played in about 15 playoff games.
Yeah.
Most majority of them on the road. So the seniors are used to being on the road.
Oh, yeah.
So it's nothing new for us.
I think this group, man, what's at stake is they get to practice on Thanksgiving, and that's a huge deal. And anytime you do that, it's been a really, really good season. But I don't think this group's done, man. I think they have a big chip on their shoulder over how the season ended last year. And I don't know, man, how we're playing the last 3 or 4 games. I like our chances. If
I
we
do
lose,
too.
we
I do
lose.
too.
But
I think they got a good chance, Bob. I really do. Again, I'd like to take this time to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and a Merry Christmas, you guys as well, because, hey, one and done, you never can tell what's going to happen tonight. So,
does it not seem like we
Take it
just
for granted.
should have had Thanksgiving yesterday? Because, this Thanksgiving's so late, and it's the latest it can possibly be in November. Right.
and look what this guy did over here.
He just turned his red light on.
Chris Hollywood, man.
What'd he do?
Yes.
I don't see anything.
What?
Did you get a haircut?
He started playing Christmas music a week ago.
I did.
Nice.
Well, a few days ago.
Well, it is the most wonderful time of the year, and we're going
It
to talk
is.
more about that, all high school football, when we come back.
Did you know that there's some radio stations that play Christmas music all year long?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Sure do.
We'll be right back on Ho Ho Ho
Jerry
Sports Talk.
can't stand it.
Hey, welcome back, guys. This is Sports Talk Friday. What is today? Friday?
21st.
21st. Are you sure?
No, it's 22nd. 22nd.
You're right. I was looking at my list. I don't keep up with dates since I retired. It's a wonderful thing.
Good
All the
for
days
you,
kind of
man.
run together. And this is what, a Sunday? No, it's Friday. That's
Friday.
right. Okay, it all runs together. Big game tonight. Cardinals playing. We want to kind of hit the standings on the expert picks. We started on it earlier, but I went on about 4 different tangents, so I'm going to stick to it this time. I'm going to do better. I'm dead last at 66-21. Joey Mahowchik, 67-20. Irv Dog, 68-19. Harry, Dave, and Steve all tied at 69-18. So there's a gaggle there within 5 of the lead. So with this expanded playoff format we're doing, like you made up 2 games on Chris Miller this week,
Right.
just this week. So it's
What are
not.
you reading from? What? Well, that's different
I'm
than what you're
reading
reading
from my
right here.
phone. These are in order.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I'm a professional, baby.
I got you, bud.
Okay. Brian North, 71-16. Jerry Allen, 73-14.
Defending champion.
1 game out of first. And then 2 tied for first right now. Chris Miller at 74-13. And, of course, the esteemed local attorney, Bob Warlick, 74-13. So you guys are tied at first. Jerry's only 1 game out and several within 5. So if you guys all pick wrong this week and I pick dead right, I'll be in the hunt to try to get close.
What does it-
That's how
Am
far
I
behind
5
I am.
games out?
You
Or that's
are
old.
right here. This is it.
Yeah. So
You're
what is-
4 games out.
What happens? What does the guy get that repeats as a champion?
Another trophy, I reckon.
I guess, yeah. We'll do another trophy.
Yeah,
you
we'll do
get
another
2 trophies. Yeah, you don't just
Can I
get 1
get-
trophy.
I'm
You get
just
2
like, Can I get a
trophies.
hat?
Well, we got a little, but yeah, we got a
I
hat.
like
But
the hat.
We'll give you a
well,
hat right now.
we got a little budget, promotions budget. So in your case, if you win again, I'll just put another little name tag that you can attach to your trophy you got last year. Saves a little money. How about it?
I'm gonna help you out, Ash. Because I still get my 37% increase on my contract.
Yeah, you sure do,
I
buddy.
like it.
And we'll get you another trophy, man.
Well, looking at the games this week,
Warlick may win.
He ain't
he's
got
right
a
there
chance.
at it.
He steals my picks, is what he does. You notice that every time he sits there, he'll pick what I pick. He'll be right after me.
Sure.
He'll text in his picks right after mine.
Well, now you guys have already made your picks, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so we're gonna let y'all do them on the air too. The ones that are here,
Call them out.
call them out. Rosewood at Pender, and I kept Pender in because they're neighboring county, and plus in playoffs, if we just did Onslow County schools, it'd be a 1 pick, and that's not going to be much fun.
I picked Pender.
Rosewood at Pender. Y'all think Pender?
Pender, yeah.
Pender.
You were very good friends with Phil Paget.
Yeah.
You know that Rosewood is like every time you say that name because that one loss, top ranked team in the state, and that's how playoffs are though.
That's how it is.
Come in and against a Rosewood team, which at the time was like the 16 team. It wasn't like it was now, where
Right.
it's like 32 teams.
Oh, they had that big time ball player at Rosewood at that particular
Oh, yeah.
time. I forget his name.
And they made it all the way to state championship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lost the game, but they made it to the state championship game.
Is Rosewood the one that has the AstroTurf?
No, that's
No,
Princeton.
Princeton.
Right.
We'll get to them momentarily. Rosewood's out the other side
Goldsboro,
of Goldsboro.
right
Yeah. Pamlico at Lakewood.
Lakewood.
Yeah, I picked Lakewood too.
Y'all
Yeah,
ever been?
Lakewood.
Y'all ever been to Lakewood before?
I've been by it. They're
You know what I'm talking about.
The
They're near the
Salemburg.
Justice Academy,
Yeah.
Salemburg area.
Yeah. Highway
It's out
Patrol
there,
School.
buddy.
Yeah, it is.
That's God's country out there,
Yeah.
buddy. And probation parole.
Right.
Trains at the Justice Academy. Highly trained probation parole.
Very much so.
East Duplin and West Craven. What do you think about that one now? I don't know
picked
much
East
about
Duplin.
West Craven.
I picked East Duplin.
Did you?
I picked these two.
I picked these two.
Which they lost to them
Early by a
early.
touchdown, but the
They had an
quarterback,
injury.
East
They
Duplin,
played
was out.
them earlier in the year?
Yeah, lost to
lost
West
to 'em.
Craven.
Like 34-29, West Craven
Yeah,
won.
that's right.
But
I
East
remember
Duplin's
that.
quarterback was hurt.
East Duplin at one time was down to their fourth string quarterback.
Yeah.
Earlier in the year, and a lot of people were surprised by some of their early season losses.
And they
but
played a heck of a game
They're
last
gelling
week
at the
coming
right
back.
time, aren't they?
They always do, man.
Yeah.
We say it every week when I'm here.
Well, they
There's
got one
no
of the best
better coaching
coaches in the
staff
world. You're right.
in the
They're
Eastern North
doggone
Carolina.
right.
It's hard to pick against that conference if in the playoffs.
No doubt.
And they
East-
came from behind last week, beat St. Paul.
Last week it was like 13-12 or something
Yeah,
halftime. You're
yeah,
right, and then wore them out. It ended up being like 33-13.
Yeah.
So shut them out in the second half. Mm-hmm. Speaking of that conference, you got James Keenan at Martin County. Now Martin County is the one that Northside went and beat in the last game, which was a great thing for to end on a win. Going since they're not going to playoffs.
James Keenan beat them 30 points.
You think so?
Yeah, that would probably be one of my bigger mismatches
Right.
of the week.
Yep.
And the reason is because Martin County won a weaker conference. and James Keenan was playing the last game of the year in the East Central with Wallace, lost to them, so they get relegated to a lower seed.
Right.
You know, whereas if they'd have won that game, they'd have been 10-0 and probably one of the top 3 seeds in the state.
Right.
You know, it's hard to figure
it's
these
huge.
guys because Wallace Rose Hill lost to Northern North.
Yeah. And Northern was better this year. I'll give them that, but they weren't quite up to
Not that much
playoff.
better.
No.
But they beat East Duplin too, didn't they? Northern beat East Duplin.
I don't think
I don't
so.
think they did. Kinston beat East Duplin real bad.
Now, in back-to-back weeks, James Keenan beat Southwest and Wallace Rose Hill, which I've ventured to say has never happened.
Right.
In,
Did they beat Kinston too?
North Lenore's program. I don't think so. I think
North
Kinston.
Lenore had 2 big wins.
Now, Kinston
beat
has
East
been a
Duplin, I
surprise team, and that's one of our ones coming up. We're going to do that one next. Kinston at Southeast Alamance. Kinston did a great job going to South Columbus, winning in a tough place. Razor City's a tough place to win. Tabor City. Sorry, it's Freudian slip. Can they go to Southeast Alamance and do it, though? That's like the haul you guys are getting ready to take.
No.
No, I don't think so either.
I did a little research on them. They're 11-0. Brand
Oh,
new
and they're
school.
the running team you guys were talking about.
No,
right?
they're the break-off school. So Southern Alamance we played.
Southern Alamance.
This team's brand new, 2 years old, and they're already hitting the ground running.
So you know they got a lot of high schools when they don't just break it up by Southeast and Northwest. They get South. And
I know
North
they
and
got a good
West,
defensive coach at Kinston.
and they're definitely playing better this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Kinston's been good. I mean, they throw the heck out of the ball.
Oh, that's right. They got that wide receiver.
Yeah,
Copper.
they're good. They're very good. But I just think that team up there is probably a little
Yeah,
better.
I
So
do
everybody's
too.
on board with Southeast Alamance. Southwest Edgecombe at Wallace Rose Hill. Will the Bulldogs handle that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know much about Southwest Edgecombe.
I don't either. I think in the dog pound, though, it's going to be hard to beat Wallace.
That's correct.
Until they have to go on the road. Some of the higher seeds in the 2A East are, of course, Northeastern. They always end up getting like a number 1 seed because they play it's a weaker conference, but they play enough non-conference to get their RPI up.
Right.
Because you can't be the number 1 seed. without
Southwest
doing that.
Edgecombe used to be the team
Yep.
until Tarbell started.
Right. That's right.
It kind of like everybody would go to Southwest Edgecombe, and then something happened there.
The
And
coach,
the coach went or something.
Raymond Cobb, is the guy who was a great legendary coach at Southwest Edgecombe. And now you've got Craddock, who's probably one of the best coaches east of 95 at
And
Tarbell.
stays there.
Boy, that Wild Warlick does know his football, don't he?
I've
do?
been-
He do?
He
Well,
does.
Well, let me
everybody
ask you-
has to have an interest in crazy things.
Let me
That's
ask you
right.
this. I don't remember Southwest Edgecombe winning a lot of state titles, though, like Tarboro did.
You don't?
Uh-uh.
No, no.
I think they were always good and
They were
got
always
there, but
good
I don't remember
and-
them winning a lot of titles.
No, because I think a lot of it's the 1A, 2A distinction, you know? I mean, I remember going with Bob Easton up there, and we got our brains beaten in by Southwest Edgecombe. They had a big sign on the fence that said, we are who you thought we were. And they were. And they were.
Who was they playing against?
Northside. I used to help
Oh, okay.
Northside when Bob Easton coached over there, and boy, we got beat 28-0, and we had a good team.
And I hated that for Bob, too, because he had some teams that, in my opinion, if they'd gotten past the Eastern Finals,
Yeah.
would have won the state championship.
I think
he
you're right.
ran into Clinton and Willie Parker. He ran into
Tarboro.
Tarboro and
Gurley.
Todd Gurley.
That's the best game we ever played, and we lost on the last play to Todd Gurley.
I
And
think
some
that's the situation
Clinton
this
teams
year.
Also, and Wallace also.
I think that's the situation this year with the Cardinals. I think if they get through the Eastern Finals or whatever, they're going to have a good chance to win state championship.
Yeah, but there's some tough teams out there,
I know
Ash.
they
I've
are.
looked.
71st
man.
being one of them, yeah.
Cape Fear's really, really good.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Well, they got CBA Cock tonight. I'd love to be at that game. I think
Yeah.
that besides our game, I
That's
think
the game to
Cape
get.
Fear
CBA Cock
Cock
has surprised me.
is
They have.
going to be a good game.
Now, Coach Steve Brooks, that was with Jacksonville before, is his son still at Aycock? No, he
Aiden.
went to Farmville
Aiden
Central.
Griffin.
Aiden Griffin, that's right. Looking at the
surprised
next
it's all
one,
Aycock.
you talking. Well, first of all, you're talking about Cape Fear. If I picture in my mind and knew nothing about high school football and locations, if you told me it was Cape Fear, I'd swear it was a Wilmington team. It just, but it's all the way up at near Fayetteville area, isn't it?
It's just east of Fayetteville. And one game we were off in September, not to prolong the show, but I just turned it on for whatever reason, and that's the game that captivated me. I saw Laney play at Cape Fear.
He was captivated.
And
See,
I-
that's a good description.
I got on the phone with Coach Williams. I said, man, you got to turn this on. I said, this is a team that can play. And lo and behold, if we're lucky enough to win tonight, I think we'll host Cape Fear next week if I had to say.
So
Really?
we still got
So
a chance
Cape Fear
to
wouldn't be the
have
higher
another
seed?
game in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
But I don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
If
We
that
got
happens-
business
I
to
understand.
do.
If that happens,
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon, I will be overwatering the field so we go on the road.
I'm with you, man. I want to go on the road.
I
too.
might just take my truck out there and just tear the field up.
So the team
I
Cape
don't
Fear is
know.
playing, is it a higher seed? You just think they'll
Yeah,
beat
they're
them?
playing at CB Aycock,
Who's the number 4 seed.
who's the number 4 seed and undefeated, and we beat last year. And hey, look, they've got every chance to win, but that Cape Fear team was big and fast. They were impressive.
Well, I'm going to save the Jackson one for last, but when you talk about teams that have been a thorn in the Cardinal side over the years, Western Alamance and Havelock. Think the Rams will take that one?
Yeah.
I come real close to picking Alamance.
Western Alamance.
I come real close. I think it's
Are they
gonna be-
still the Warriors? Do they still let
I
them
think it's
be the
going to be a
Warriors?
closer game than what you think. But I was real close picking Alamance.
One of the coldest I've ever been was at Western Alamance at a game there. That's a cold place, buddy. I think Alamance County in general during the playoffs just is colder than everywhere else.
And we always, Onslow County always matches up with Alamance County. You notice
You're
that?
right.
We always have to go through there.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we talked about last week when we had Steve Clark on here talking about he wasn't sure yet, remember, about whether there's going to be a hard line of longitude for East and West in each division. I don't know how they can do that because say you draw the line and that's done before the teams play. Then you may have some teams in the East that are terrible.
Yeah.
They're in the playoffs and teams in the West that go home
Right.
because they can't make it in a more difficult bracket or vice versa.
Right.
Looking over the years, you talk about East and West, now playing with Alamance County, it was nothing for years for Whiteville or South Columbus to have to go to the mountains to
Yeah,
play.
they'd go play
Because
Swain.
if you ever look at a map, I'm not talking about the little thing on our phone that we all look at now. Look at a regular state map next time you're at a rest stop. Go to Raleigh and draw the line of longitude straight down. Columbus County is west
West of Raleigh, yeah.
It doesn't seem like it because the way the coast runs, but they're west of Raleigh.
How many teams make the playoffs now?
Oh, it's
32?
64 in each division, isn't it?
64?
Yeah, so
So when they go
32 on
to
each side.
8, it's only going to be 32?
I don't know, but I think they're going to keep
I
the
don't
same
know.
thing.
It can't be 64 because
No.
from 7A down,
You basically
it's
having everybody
59
make the
people.
playoffs. Yeah.
And in the 8A, I think there was only 32, 34, 36, 38 teams.
So it'd probably be 32 and keep the same number of playoff
So they're going to
teams is
reduce
what
the
they have
playoff
now.
games. That's
No.
what
I
it's
don't
going to
know.
do.
If you go to 32, that
Gotta
makes
be.
it makes
Yeah.
it the same numbers now. You're just dividing it in two.
You're just subdividing it
Yeah.
more ways.
Who do you
That's it.
speculate Jacksonville will be playing next year?
I think they got a good possibility to stay in the same conference.
Similar.
And add in White Oak.
There'll be a couple added, yeah.
Yeah.
White Oak, Richlands,
D.H. Conley be playing D.H.
Greenville
Conley again?
schools. Yeah,
I think
They
so.
4A, we still be playing
Croatan
them next
probably.
year?
I think we lose Havelock, which I'll hate. Really.
Oh, yeah, because that's a great
It's
battle.
Oh,
great
yeah,
rivalry.
they're smaller. They'll be smaller than Jacksonville.
Oh, they're much smaller.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Are they two divisions? I had it with me. I
Yeah,
didn't
they're
bring it.
5A.
They're just 5A?
Yeah, and
Well,
Jackson will
they'll
be
still
7A, right?
No, we were 6.
Six.
Six.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm wrong.
They still be in that same conference, I bet.
And as we talked before we started, like Southwest will probably be 4A, which sounds huge, but I mean, it's the way they're reclassing. But I would have thought 3A with their low numbers, they're almost 1A numbers now.
Right.
I was hoping for 3A, but like everything else, to be like the smallest 4A school or one of the smallest, like you were saying, in 4A. There's another one, maybe it's White Oak or somebody that's going to be like one of the smallest in their class too. So it won't benefit them their attendance wise. J.H. Rose at Southern Nash. J.H. Rose has already made the trip to Nash County this past week and beat Northern Nash. So now they get rewarded to go right back to Nash County, which from Greenville, Nash County is not too far.
No,
not like going from here. Who y'all like in that game? Now, which one is Pepper's school? I know you know. Was it
Southern-
Northern or
Southern
Southern
Nash.
Nash.
Southern Nash.
The Firebirds.
Yeah, where Julius Peppers hailed from. So Rose at Southern Nash. What do y'all think?
Nash.
Yeah.
I'm picking Nash. Southern
I
Nash,
picked
so.
Southern Nash as well.
I won't be surprised if Rose wins, though. I really
Going to be a
won't.
totally different game. Northern Nash is spread, and Southern Nash is foot to foot, run
Right.
it
Just
down
run
your
down your
throat.
throat, yeah.
Yeah.
So one of them will try and hold the ball the whole first quarter, and the other one will try and score every play.
Yeah.
You're of course a Carolina guy.
I am.
You remember the fastest 3 and out in all of college football?
No.
Larry Fedora. That's what we call it, the fastest 3 and out, because they rush so much to get the next playoff. Sometimes your defense hadn't even got to the sideline.
Yeah, they hadn't even gotten the water bottle.
Yeah, and they're
up
right
yet,
back
huh?
out on the field.
Yeah.
Millbrook at New Bern. This is going to be a buffer game because I can see it probably going 50-50 by the pickers. Raleigh Millbrook at New Bern.
I picked Millbrook.
I picked New Bern. But I don't know the reason being, I don't know that much about Millbrook, and they're all playing at New Bern. That's the only thing, the reason I'm picking.
I picked New Bern. That's the hardest game to me to pick. The only reason I picked is I looked up Millbrook. They're 10-1, but they lost to Rollsville 52-0, and I
Well,
said,
Roseville ain't no pushover either.
they're probably your state champion, but if anybody
Right.
loses 52-0, I like New Bern's chance to be able to at least compete at home.
I know one thing. They got a scat back at Newbern. You talking about this? He's running quarterback.
That could go either way, man. That's a tough game.
So y'all seen New Bern this year. They mostly run like they have been in the past.
They can throw it some.
But you remember the one year they wanted to.
Oh, nothing
before they
like
got
that.
stripped.
They
the
lost
state
to
championship.
Jacksonville, but they don't
didn't.
quit. They got a good team. I mean, they keep clawing back. They came back down
they're
from like
spread.
15 points to Havelock to win.
So
that game
help me in my
second half.
mind. New Bern beat Jacksonville.
Correct.
No,
Jacksonville
Jacksonville
beat
beat New Bern.
Right.
New Bern beat Havelock, and Havelock beat
beat
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
But because of the 3A 4A split, it wasn't the classic three-way tie like you used to have.
Right.
New Bern was
When
out of the mix.
they all get recognized as conference champs, but as
For
far
that,
as
but
seeding, yeah,
it
it's a
basically
problem.
come down to head-to-head between Jacksonville
And the
Havelock.
fact that Jacksonville beat two 4A schools ought to took some weight in that decision, in my opinion.
True. That's true.
So some interesting games. It's gonna be interesting coming down. I'd like to get y'all's thoughts on. We talked about reclassification. Who would you guys like to see if you had to pick a Jacksonville conference right now?
Do what?
Who would you like to see Jacksonville be in the conference with next
Same
year?
conference
Southwest,
they're in.
Same exact one.
Yep. I think so. I think we're that good.
But wouldn't you like to see
I
one
think we're
added
that
to make it
good.
an 8-team
I think we're
conference?
that much better than everybody in Onslow County.
So right now they're a 7-team conference, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you love to see one added to make it 8-team so you don't have to have it bye?
Yeah, it'd be nice to fill out the schedule for sure. But I'm like Jerry. I like for different reasons. I like our conference. I like our conference, but it'd be nice to add. I don't know who. I guess White Oak Richland's one of those, but you kind of bring them on board. In all honesty, if you're going to be selfish about it, then they're having that same gauntlet you're having, and they get their program gets a lot better quickly.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm Coach Bird, though, at White Oak, with what they've done, 3-time conference champions, unfortunately lost in the first round the past 3 years, I would love to see some more competition in my conference.
No doubt.
Even if it's not going to the Jacksonville conference, they're only a 6-team conference.
Right.
That's terrible trying to schedule. You have to schedule 5 non-conference games.
He can do, but when they realign, he has the ability in preseason to go find better games than playing Swansboro twice.
Yeah, well, I
know
guess
what I mean?
they tried and just couldn't get anybody. It's like Jacksonville tries to get somebody for week 3 every week and just can't get anybody to take them up on it.
It's hard.
It
Same
is.
thing Phil
It really
Padgett
is.
had back in the day.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to play Southwest Onslow, the 4-time state champions?
No, we don't
no,
wanna
no,
do that.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Now-
go play East,
Now,
East Columbus or something.
He some of these years had to do that, and I harken back to the 2003 team, possibly the best team he ever had for sure. One of the best teams ever to come out of the county. Played, I believe, East Columbus, Pender, Lejeune, and Jacksonville non-conference, and there was one more because of the way the schedule was. So he didn't, and that was back when Jackson was down.
Well,
Obviously, Travis
it
Connor
hadn't,
was
been,
there.
it hadn't been that too long ago when Jacksonville had played White Oak same time twice.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
Well, let's look at the East brackets before we go. Havelock's the number 1 seed in the East,
They are.
and they got West something. Is it West?
Alabams.
Western Alliance?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're coming. They're
At
making the
Havelock.
trip down here.
Yeah, and we're making the trip up there.
Should have worked something out. Everybody stay where they are. I guess Terry Sanford and Scotland. You see the way it does the abbreviations.
Right.
It's terrible. You can't. You just have to guess at who it is. Terry Sanford and Scotland County. Now you talk about football, Scotland County. You ever been to that facility
I
there?
have.
That's
Man,
where
it's nice.
Coach Chip won the state championship
Yeah, it
with
is.
Scotland County.
Yeah.
Then you got Burlington, Williams, and Jackson. When we talked before about Burlington, they have predominantly been known in the Burlington schools or the Alamance County schools for being throwing offenses.
Right.
Right.
Remember some of the great ones come out there. Who was the kid for Carolina that played at Carolina that came from one of the Burlington schools?
Chucky Burnett.
Chucky Burnett, yeah. Set a lot of state records.
Yeah.
He knows it, man.
He
Especially
does,
Carolina,
he's
buddy.
a kid, got it.
5'11" quarterback.
Did you go to the state championship game, Southwest and Burlington Cummings?
Yes.
Remember the kid, Bo
Yeah.
Dacious.
Williamson.
no, Williamson? Exactly.
Yeah, the
This
quarter
dude is
little
on point.
No, I mean some stuff I remember, a lot of stuff I don't.
As soon as you said it, it popped in my head. Well, obviously, but
He got
that
popped.
kid had not lost a game his entire career. I
He
mean,
got hit.
all the way through middle school up through his senior year, and that was his senior year. They were what they call him the greatest show on turf.
Little left-hander. He got hit that
He got
night.
hit a lot. And Brian North, I remember him doing the coverage of it, said They were credited with like 6 sacks. Southwest was, but it was more like 10 because anytime he started running, they credited as a run instead of a sack. But
Boy.
so they're not normally known for that spread offense and stuff. Now you said the other team was it Southern Alamance?
Yeah, they were physical.
It's
man.
pretty much the only.
Yeah,
more
they're foot to
physical one
foot,
there.
control the line of scrimmage.
Then you got Cape Fear at CB Aycock. That's going to be a great game.
It should be a great game. I don't know much about Aycock. I just do know Cape Fear was impressive.
And then J.H. Rose, the 30th seed. Wow,
Yeah, you're 2-8. You're going to
Yeah.
be 30th seed.
that's true. But they already knocked off. We know one Nash County team. It's
The
not
3 seed. They knocked off the 3 seed.
Yeah.
They're not off the 3 seed now. They're playing the 14 seed. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that they could beat them.
Well, and that Southern Nash, Northern Nash game in the conference, Northern beat Southern by 1 point.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
overtime.
Really?
Yes.
So that was for the title.
I need to change my picks.
You can.
I ain't changing that.
Who got 'em?
I'm worried about New Bern.
Lee County and who's Lee County playing? It says North something.
Northern Brunswick, North Brunswick.
North Brunswick. So that Lee
Scorpions.
County's coming all the way back down here again. To
And I'm
Brunswick
picking them to
County.
beat the Scorpions.
So
The
you think
Yellow
Lee County
Jackets.
will beat them? Well, we're not picking that game, but you think they'll beat them?
Yeah, I think they will. They beat White
I
Oak
was
last
surprised
week.
that North Brunswick got this far.
North Brunswick's loaded athletically with speed. They
All
played,
the time or now?
Well, I'm saying when we played,
They've always had that.
They've always had a good
they played
football
West
team.
Carteret, and so they were on one of the Jacksonville game films, and they're very athletic. And I'd say most of the time they're usually pretty athletic, and they've got a
They
good
named,
coach.
are they in the New Hanover Laney Conference?
Yeah, they
Ooh,
are.
dang.
Yeah.
That makes them
Both those
tougher.
schools got beat last week.
Yeah, the bigger
Laney and New Hanover.
right.
Only one
Hoggart's the one.
hanging around.
Hoggart's the pride and joy down there.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, this year it looks like.
most years. Remember, they went state championship last year.
That's true. Had the Barth boys and had a lot of great teams down there.
Yeah, they have.
It looks like you got 71st and I guess Rocky Mount. Yeah, 71st and Rocky Mount. Of course, Rocky Mount beat Richlands. Now, 71st beat Croatan, didn't they?
71st did.
Yeah.
So you could have had if it had come out, you had Richlands and Croatan facing off in the next round. But it's Rocky Mount at 71st, and 71st is the number 2 seed. So I think probably 71st.
Yep.
71st is phenomenal.
Big.
Is
man.
71st the team that played last year against the team that beat us?
Right.
And
yeah.
he beat them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
71st is absolutely legit. As highly as I've spoken of Cape Fear all morning, they beat Cape Fear 33-3, and that's Cape Fear's only loss.
Really?
71st is a gauntlet. They're right there with Havelock.
So it would
And
not be
us. I mean, in theory, if we're peaking, I
Right.
think we're in that
And I think the
conversation.
Jacksonville team is playing its best ball.
I don't think there's any doubt.
Well, how many games have we got to win now? And I'm talking about Jacksonville to win the state championship, including the state championship game. How many? 4 more games?
Yeah, still a bunch.
Four
four
more
more.
games.
That's way down the road.
Way down the road, man. We got to win tonight.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I
it.
So there's to win the state championship before it starts. There's 5 games to win the title.
They've added another.
I thought it was 6.
They've added another round.
Maybe 6. I don't know.
think it's
It may
6.
be. Yeah, we're not getting the cart before the horse.
Yeah,
on
there's no
special
need to even
imagination.
have entertain that
Y'all
conversation.
have
We're
some
talking
lively
about tonight.
discussion, and I'll look it up.
We've got our hands full tonight. We just
One
win
Friday
tonight.
night at a time.
We
right.
go practice on Thanksgiving, and then
Talking
you've had a
about
good year, right? And then
Yeah.
you play wherever you play next week if you're so lucky.
4, 5, 6. It was the state championship be the 6th game.
The good thing about a Jacksonville game tonight that I feel good about, and I don't ever get
Well,
too
you
far
skip
ahead of
that,
myself,
don't you,
is we are accustomed to this. We've been here before. We travel all the time. I mean,
Right.
It's nothing new to us. You know
No,
what I mean?
and you have to overcome everything. Being treated like a redheaded stepchild in these places that we go, it's they play with a chip on their shoulder, and I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the best team, certainly since I've been helping you guys.
No
and,
question about it.
And the best player that we've had in the last 20 years. I mean, you can't, if things get tight, you're going to see June at linebacker. I mean, you've got a guy like
Everywhere.
that. You ride him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's a guy that,
There is no next week.
yeah, when it's over, it's over. You've lost
Yeah.
probably the best guy that Coach Williams will ever have coached, although he's been around some real good ones at
Oh,
New
yeah.
Bern.
There's no question about it.
Now, I got a couple more things to ask you about the Cardinal team before we go. Let's do this day in sports history first, and then we'll finish up with some more details about the game before we go.
We'll
So we'll just
flag.
take turns rolling around here. All this stuff happened on November 15th at one time or another. In 1910, Arthur Knight patents the Steel Shaft Golf Club. So the old hickory shafts went by the wayside. Do you play golf? Everyone here has played before. Can you imagine that? You've seen the old ancient clubs hanging on the wall, most clubs.
Right.
Can you imagine trying to hit a golf ball with that thing?
I had to when I first started playing golf. I'm so old. I had to start out with wooden shafts. I had to-
did.
yeah.
They
You
weren't-
still have the
they weren't
persimmons.
stone?
No, they were just no. They weren't stones either. Go to purchase golf balls.
Yep, stuff with feathers. in
Yeah,
it,
man.
like that, yeah. All right, Bob.
1945, Cleveland Rams in Jim Benton gains 303 yards in a 28-21 win over the Detroit Lions. It was the NFL single game rushing record, and that stood for 40+ years.
How about them Detroit Lions, guys?
Man, they're good.
rolling, ain't they?
Yeah, they're really good.
And you notice since this guy was an end, that was a different game. You had guys basically doing the jet sweep as your offense back then. You know,
1956, Boston shooting guard Bill Sharman hits 10 free throws in Celtics 101-78 over Philadelphia Warriors at Philadelphia Civic Center. 10
Right.
free throws. When I was in high school, I shot 14 a game.
nowadays they're all over the place. Tyler Hansbrough made a career out of free throws. All right, Ashley, you got the next one, and
Ryan,
you get a
tell
bonus
me.
point
I
if
got
you
it.
get the number right.
You okay? You're right.
bonus
You ready?
point.
In 1956, the 16th
Very
Summer
good.
Olympic Games opened at the MCG in Melbourne, Australia. First to be staged in Southern Hemisphere and Oceania. First to be held outside Europe and North America.
All righty. Does anybody know what MCG stands
I
for?
ain't got any idea. Go ACDC. Go
But
ahead.
it's XVI, so yes, 16. Good job.
Yeah, man.
Superstar.
Ashley, were you born in 1956?
No,
You weren't alive then?
1856. I'm a vampire.
In 1957, Mickey Mantle wins the AL MVP for the second time. And one of the most iconic, probably a lot of people's favorite baseball player of all time, Mickey Mantle, especially if you're around that area, you know.
Is that the next year? Didn't Roger Maris join them in 58?
I don't know.
I think so.
61, I
Was it
think.
61?
All right, 1959, American Football League conducts its first draft in Minneapolis with the 8 clubs selecting their playing rosters for the inaugural 1960 season.
And do you think when they did it in 1959, they had any idea that it would be the spectacle it is now? The draft is major business now.
man, that's huge
All
now.
the people going there, all the people watching. I remember sitting there watching rounds of it, you know, hoping, you know, last couple of years, like last year, the Panthers draft was not something you watched because they didn't have any picks. But hopefully they're getting those back.
1961, Frank Robinson, Cincinnati Reds outfielder, selected as NL MVP.
All right. Also in 1961, St. Louis Hawk Bob Pettit sets NBA record hitting 19 of 19 free throws.
He makes old Bill Sharman look like a lightweight, don't he?
He does.
All right, I guess it's me next. Let's see. In 1965, in his second title defense, Muhammad Ali scores a 12th round knockout of Floyd Patterson at the Las Vegas Convention Center to retain his World Heavyweight Boxing Championship. All-time greatest in boxing, you think?
Who?
Muhammad Ali.
No,
Man, I think he would be one. I think Sugar Ray would be one, and I think the other guy.
I think
Tyson-
Mike
is Tyson-
Tyson would
yeah,
be
Tyson's
one.
Tyson.
coming-
Heavyweight-wise, I think Tyson's definitely in the mix. there.
Because he,
Now, Sugar Ray was a lighter weight, wasn't he? Like a midweight or something?
Yeah,
he
he was
stung
slick.
like a bee.
He was very good.
But well,
All right, Bob.
you can't deny Rocky Marciano, man. He's the only one
Oh, there they
he's
go.
undefeated.
There they go.
All right, 1966, the 32nd Heisman Trophy Award went to Steve Spurrier, quarterback, University of Florida.
One of the greats in the game, coach and player-wise.
Yeah.
Now, if you ever want to see a funny video, go on YouTube and type in Steve Spurrier poor mouthing, and oh yeah, it's
They got
it's
a big
hilarious.
college game this Saturday with University of South Carolina playing Clemson.
Where was Spurrier the other night in the press box? He's somewhere at another school now.
Ole Miss, wasn't it? I
Was
saw
it?
him. No.
He wasn't Ole Miss,
Golly.
and I wish I could think of it because I didn't even know he was involved with his school now.
I seen him give a speech the other
Yeah,
night.
his son's playing. It was like Florida Atlantic or
That's
something
what
like
it is.
that.
Yeah,
His
something like
son
that.
was
yeah.
coaching,
It's because
yeah.
his son's there. That's
I'd
right.
seen him the other night on TV and it looked like he hardly walk.
Yeah,
He'd walk and he had to lean back to get something to stand up.
He's put on some years there.
1970, 20th NASCAR Sprint Cup. Bobby Isaac wins.
And
What's
they
up
did
with
not. They did not take P breaks.
What do they call the NASCAR now?
NASCAR?
It's terrible.
It's still the Cup, but I still call it the Winston Cup. I'm old school.
and they have brakes in it and all that.
And the Bush Series, yeah, where they take P breaks. Yeah, they don't do that. Really. All right, Ashley.
All right, let's see. 1972 in Pittsburgh, The Penguins set the National Hockey League record for scoring the fastest 5 goals. They scored 5 goals in 2 minutes and 7 seconds at a 10-4 win over the St. Louis Blues.
And Ronnie Millsap was in goal, I heard.
They must have been down some. How many?
5 goals in 2 minutes. Now, the Hurricanes had a game last year where they scored 3 in about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That in the
But 5
playoffs.
in
That
2
was in the
minutes.
playoffs, right?
Yeah, it was like bam, bam, bam. And it's funny how that happens. A goalie just all of a sudden, he can't see nothing. You know, 5 goals in 2 minutes is, I'm just wondering who the goalie was. Did you do that one? Just me? 1986, 20-year-old Mike Tyson, speaking of Tyson, becomes the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history when he stops title holder Trevor Berbick in round 2 at the Las Vegas Hilton to earn the WBC title. Great fighter, had a lot of great title fights. What is the one you remember the most Tyson fight, though?
Spinks.
Really?
Biting the ear on Holyfield.
I remember the one where Buster Douglas knocked him out.
Oh, really?
Well,
That's
yeah,
the fight that jumps in my mind when I think of Tyson because he was bulletproof.
you're right. But I think of him knocking Spinks, and he was seeing dizzy in about 20 seconds.
It only
you
in
know.
boxing, it only takes one hit.
When he
One
stung
hit.
him, it was done. Yeah.
Does anybody know what happened to Trevor Berbick?
Nope.
Not to be a
I don't.
negative Nelly or anything.
Negative Nelly. Not that I know.
He was somewhere in the Virgin Islands where he was from originally. When he retired, he went down there, and his nephew beat him to death.
Oh, so he passed away? He's
Yeah,
dead?
yeah.
I did not know that.
Nephew
Beat him to
murdered him.
death.
The irony.
Yes, that'll do it.
Sure did. With
Shut
a
up,
stick.
Jerry.
Sure
I'm
did.
interested in
I
trying
know.
to help you.
I was just clarifying.
All right, 1986, Edmonton Oiler Wayne Gretzky becomes the 13th NHLer to score 500 goals.
Is there any doubt in your mind, if you don't like hockey or have limited, that he's the greatest ever?
He's the greatest.
You know, a lot of
Just
people,
did things that people didn't do.
getting back to Trevor Berbick, a lot of people think that Larry Holmes was the last man to defeat Muhammad Ali. Remember? He was Trevor Berbick.
Was
he
it?
fought Trevor Berbick right after that got beat. Yeah, sure did.
And boxing, I mean, it used to be such a great thing to watch. Nowadays, it's not like it used to be. I mean, who would have thought that one of the most anticipated and most watched boxing matches would be between two guys that I think probably just staged entertainment fest for you? Did you see some of the video from Tyson? What was the kid's name? Some
Gabe,
internet guy.
Paul.
Something like that,
something
yeah.
else.
Did you see some times where Tyson would
Jake
go to throw
Paul.
a punch and stop? And so they're speculating that, the
Jake
guy
Paul.
wasn't covering up enough to where, Tyson would have the punch would have killed him.
Well, let me ask you something. Who is the world heavyweight champion now?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
No idea.
It ain't like it used to be.
Sure. I ain't got any
Used to,
idea.
you knew.
Oh, yeah.
You kept up with the fights, whether you
Right.
watched them live or not.
But it got diluted just like everything else did,
The UFC's sort of taking it over too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's more of a more watched thing. Yeah.
Blink, you've got 15. over there, buddy.
1987, 37th NASCAR Sprint Cup. Dale Earnhardt wins.
I didn't know you were a racing fan.
The GOAT.
Yeah, he's
Dale
the goat
Earnhardt.
there.
Let me tell you something. Dale Earnhardt would be mad. He would quit the NASCAR now if he had to go to timeouts like they do now. He
They
quit.
don't do time. Well,
Don't entertain
just-
that. Please
you're
don't
right.
entertain that.
I'm
Please
telling
let's
you.
not go back to that.
he's fishing it.
Listen, the
fishing hard,
NASCAR, what made it so special was you got in a car and got strapped in, and you didn't come out or
You don't
stop.
come out on the
You
brakes.
come out or stop.
But you don't
till
yeah.
the end.
Or cautions.
Well, because that's part of the race. You still
See,
I didn't know that they had brakes in it.
And
I
they
really-
probably need to go back to it like
They
it
really
was.
do.
Right.
you.
And
And
they,
they
have
need to take-
they have brakes, but they don't pull over and get out and eat a
But see, the
fried
thing
chicken or
about
anything.
that back then is that your pit crew, your team, it was more of a team thing.
Right.
Because pit crew was involved, get them out.
Yeah.
Now you got a break. And you,
So here's the difference.
Takes it out of it.
Now they do the break to try and bunch the field up, make it more interesting. They had these natural breaks in NASCAR for years called wrecks.
Yeah.
Well, there's one thing
A
that would
wreck
cure
would
that.
bunch the field up.
Take away the restrictor plates. They would get back it like it used to be.
True. And the big tracks.
Yeah.
All right, trivia here for NASCAR. We're not doing our trivia question today, but who's the only NASCAR driver to win a NASCAR sanctioned race in Onslow County?
Richard Petty.
That was quick.
Right over here
Over
on
the
old
old
30.
30 Speedway.
Speedway over here, yeah.
And that was back, and the reason Richard has 200 plus wins, I think it was 200 even he ended at, is because they didn't race, like when Earnhardt was coming through, they did Sunday race.
Well, they had more races.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They raced 3 times a week
Right.
sometimes in the
Hall
old
of
days.
Shine and everything.
Can you imagine Earnhardt going to 3 races a week on some of these little small tracks? He'd just be rooting people out and going 3-0 for the week. It's like a hockey schedule.
Ashley, here's the last question, trivia on NASCAR. Who's
Dun, dun,
who's the
dun.
godfather of NASCAR that created it all?
Uh,
You just said it when you said about Holland Shine.
oh, the man from up in the west part of the state, Junior Johnson.
That's it.
Yeah.
Got a highway name for him.
Yeah.
Has anybody been to the Boone area in the last couple of years? Now, when you ride by that North Wilkesboro Speedway, there ain't trees and stuff.
Cleaned it up, hadn't it?
Cleaned it up.
Yeah.
They've opened it up. You can see it. I think Little Lee Earnhardt Jr. was one of the ones that started that. Now they race the All-Star race.
We're going to get close tonight.
So I think
you know.
they're coming back to the.
We'll be pretty close tonight.
Yeah, y'all want to make a weekend of it? We'll get
go
the
down
ball
there and
game
take a
going
lap
at
around
noon
the
or
track.
something, you know?
If they'll let us on the track, yeah.
Leave a little earlier and go take a couple laps.
Yeah, we got to get out of here shortly.
Yeah, but you want to be able to get to the game too and not have to go through the Wilkesboro County Jail.
Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it. I'm excited about it.
All right,
I
speaking
appreciate
of the game
all
tonight,
you guys.
no one does it like Hollywood, telling us the nuts and bolts of the game if you're listening on the radio. Tell us the nuts and bolts, Hollywood.
All right, the nuts and bolts is we're going to hit the road here in a minute, and we're going to travel to Burlington to check out the amazing second round state 3A football championship game tonight against the Wilmington Bulldogs and
No,
the
the
Jacksonville
Burlington
Cardinals.
Bulldogs.
Oh,
Walter
yeah.
Williams High School.
Yeah, nobody does it like
Which one,
Hollywood,
Will?
right? I was on. He always throws it to me like last second here. Let's see. Tonight, the Burlington Williams Bulldogs against the Jacksonville Cardinals. 6:30 pregame with the whole crew. The voice of the Cardinals, Jerry Allen. The what am I trying to say? See, I've lost it, man. I've lost
Color
it.
commentary.
Yes, that's the guy.
Bob Warlick.
Bob Warlick. I'm bringing you all the action tonight.
And intern, Ashley Moseley.
That's
will be there to
it.
help
That's
you.
the man. Bringing the
And Jerry-
sideline
and
play-by-play.
And Jerry's feeling better. His back perked up a little bit.
Yep.
You have to get out and stretch a little bit before we leave, Jerry.
I still bringing my heating pad.
Yeah, he's got his heating pad and his Ben Gay. It's great. Good to go.
I'm going to put a tracker on Ashley's phone so you can see all the steps he makes during a game. He's great because he'll go down there, he'll be on the sidelines. State championship game, Ashley's over there giving advice to the Clinton coach.
He needed it.
He needed it, yeah.
Oh, I see him. I see him over there.
Yeah.
Jerry don't even want me
Down
in the
there
press
on-
box.
at
I
Keenan
said he has
Stadium
kicked me
giving
out of-
advice to the coach.
Jerry's kicked me out of the press box, and I go down on the sidelines and have a good time. At least I can see the game good and up close. I've almost gotten run over 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, you
I
got to be
got-
careful, man. Have your head on a swivel.
Doggone right, man.
Ariel Epstein, remember, used to be the reporter with Brian North at WCTI. She got mauled one night. run
Really?
over. Great footage because you can just see the camera, as she got run over. And somebody had it on video, too, of her getting hit. So shortly after that, she left that game, and now she's a big-time celebrity up
Yeah.
in
Oh,
Major
wow.
League Baseball, yeah.
Well, I'm going to try to get on the
props queen.
sidelines tonight, guys. If I can. If it gets too chilly for old Ash, I might have to get up in the press box and watch that. I don't know.
I'll bring my big coat for you. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I got you.
We're going to do 2
I'll be out
things
the
before
way.
we go. One, I'm going to let Ashley do the sponsors because he does it like nobody. Like Carly,
don't
is
know
it
where
Carly
they are.
Simon says nobody does it better?
Yeah. Hey, really quick
I'm
tonight.
going to do the parade thing. too.
Really quick, I didn't finish because I got all
sorry.
discombobulated or whatever. But tonight, obviously, if you can't make it to the game, there's many ways to listen to the game. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. Obviously, 97.1, and wherever you are, if you're on the couch, if you're on your phone, wherever you are in the entire world, you can check it out at WSME971.com. We stream right there. You can listen to the game. So there you go.
And then you're going to jet back, fly the plane back into Albert J. Ellis Airport, and be ready for the Christmas parade tomorrow morning.
Yeah, bright and early, man. 9 o'clock. They close the roads to get there early. Western Boulevard. That's where the parade takes place. The Grooving Through the Holidays Jacksonville Christmas Parade with the Jacksonville Chamber of Commerce, and we're very excited about that. Radio support provided by Golden Corral, Billy Sewell and the gang. So it kicks off at the 9:45 is when they step off there from the community college. It'll be a lot of fun.
And we'll come on starting at 10.
Yep.
Before I read the sponsors, I would like to take this time to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully next week we can continue to wish everybody a Merry Christmas again today. But, with the holidays and Christmas season coming up, shop these people that I'm getting ready to talk about because they're a big part of the community. The money stays here in Onslow County. They're not big box stores. They're folks like Jerry and Jeff Allen, Bobby and Louise Williams, own small businesses here. A big part of what goes on here in Onslow County. And Jerry, it's an absolute privilege to have you in the press box with us, buddy. We appreciate it. We've seen a lot of things the last 14 years, ain't we, buddy?
Yeah, has it been 14 years?
You're right there. 13, I think. Anyway, National Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Shout out to Harry Brown, first thing Harry wanted to do when we got together was put Jackson High School football back on the radio.
And there it is.
And here we are. The loss of John Drew Warlick, been around a long time, law firm of Warlick, what, 75 years?
Probably 75 years. Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, thank
You
you.
do a good job, and everybody
look that old.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
CNS Paint, Ron Schoten and Victor Case. Jerry, you pretty good friends with Victor Case. I understand he was a baseball player as well, played ball with you. And Oswego County Motor Company, Ben Beasley was on here a couple of weeks ago, did an outstanding job with
Outstanding job.
He knows a lot
He's
about
a font of high school, college football information and
and
NASCAR.
racing. Thank you, Ben.
Font.
Fountain Management, Lisa Fountain, and Sandra Fountain, Lisa Thornton, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Of course, Wismart. Chappie's Chicken. Jerry, you came through with the chicken this year, buddy. I mean, it was some kind of good. And
That's some good
we
chicken.
never knew whether we were going to get it or not, but you always showed up with the chicken and tater wedges and the egg rolls last week and the onion rings. We appreciate
And
that,
I was
buddy.
hoping when I saw that lot cleared out there on the Highway 53 in Pony Farm Road, Chappie's Chicken was coming.
Don't ever know.
Never know.
Let's
dude.
do it.
Bill Mercer, thank you, buddy, right there at Bartley Insurance Services. He's a Richlands guy. He may be a little bit disappointed from last week, but he's supported Jacksonville, Onslow County, and the high school football team ever since we've been on the air. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, Tommy Duff, thank you, buddy. We appreciate everything you do. Remember, relax, as Hollywood says, they're on the way. Rock Creek Golf and Country Club, we got a guy here today that may be able to help speed up getting Rick Morton in the Onslow County Hall of Fame. Bob and Jerry, I'm sure you guys got a little pull as far as that goes, and he needs to be in the Onslow County Hall of Fame. There's no question about that. Rick Morton, thank you, buddy. Lane Associates Family Dentistries, Dr. Tommy and Kim Morgan have supported Jacksonville athletics forever, and Tommy's dad, Ken Morgan, and Mary Morgan have been a big part of this in the past as well, so thank you very much. Steve Goodson and Christopher Phillips over at Jones Onslow EMC or Touchstone Energy Cooperative. They keep us warm with electricity, and we certainly appreciate you supporting Sports Talk and the Jacksonville High School Football Cardinals. Southern Touch Painting, I know it's been about a month or so ago, but we cannot forget what Roger Carroll did for those folks out west with the hurricane. I understand he sent like 17
Multiple
loads
box trucks.
of box trucks out there, so I'm sure them folks appreciate it, Roger, and we appreciate you as well. Barnes Diamond Gallery, Southwest Girl, Lindsay Jarman, thank you very much. Christmas time coming up. Go by and pick out some nice jewelry at Barnes Diamond Gallery. Bayshore Animal Hospital, the new location over at 623 East Addison's Drive in Swansboro. The doctor there, she's been around. Gina Francis is a Jackson High School graduate, graduated with Leander Green and Phil Paget, 1976, and was a cheerleader there. So Helen's Kitchen, we getting ready to jump on them Billy Bowls, Billy Grissett. Last meal we'll eat here in Onslow County before we hit the road, but
That sounds ominous.
thank you very much. And the Hurricane Report is powered by Down East Heating and Air. What'd you say?
It's like our last meal. I'm like,
Well, it
that
is,
sounds
you know,
in
Onslow
Onslow
County.
County.
Yeah, it
Hey,
really
you've never
is.
seen me eat before, though. I'll probably eat something before I go.
Jason Humphrey, thank you, buddy. And again, congratulations for raising the most money for the Onslow Victim Center on October the 26th when you danced the night away.
And he did
Thank
a
you very
fine
much.
job dancing.
I'm sure he did.
And Bill Mercer did, too. He was in that.
Yeah,
he was in that, too.
Bill was in it, sure was. Jerry, thank you very much, buddy. We appreciate you, what you do. And Bob, I'm looking forward to getting on the game tonight. And Jerry, I promise I won't get in the press box unless it gets too cold. And if I do, I won't be doing no talking, okay?
Bob's the one that's superstitious.
I'm superstitious.
I know, they run me out of the
There's
box.
some games he sees you coming out, he'll be hitting me and pointing, and I'm saying, "Why, man?" I said, "Oh my!"
I remember,
here comes that."
I remember at the Newbury game, right before the halftime, Jacksonville threw that interception. The ball went about 85 yards, 90 yards. I was just going to the press box, sitting there against that big box. You can't come up here.
Bob, are you one of those guys that would wear the same outfit every time because
No,
if you after a
but-
big win or something?
No,
Not change your
but
underwear
I'm a-
for a week? Or anything
No,
like that?
but I'm a creature of habit, man. As far as just
He's
Ash,
superstitious,
if he's
sees
on the
people.
sideline and we're playing well, then he needs to be on the
Stay
sideline.
That's right.
You know, that's the way it
Sure
is.
does.
Just if you get cold over there tonight, they're gonna have them heaters on the sideline. So just go stand in front of
Well, I
them.
will. I walk up and get among the other team like I normally do, get on the other side, which I'll be part of that team. You know what I mean?
Get a little trash barrel down there and throw a fire in it or something. A little burn barrel. So that's a wrap. You guys got anything you want to add before we go? Obviously, you're
No,
You ready?
Well, I'll tell you this. We'll say this: if you can make it tonight, please make it. If you can't, tune in. Huge game for the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Huge
right
game.
on WSME. Hollywood's done an outstanding job
Yeah.
putting it on YouTube, Facebook, and WSME971.com. And
Worldwide.
we're going to bring the Cardinal action to the folks right here in Oswego County and the Cardinal fans tonight, starting at about 6:30. Go Cards!